and thank you very much for joining me. I, of course, am Factorio, where we need to build an outpost in this episode. So first things first, let's hop in the train. Get in the train with me. There we go, and let's go to a spot where we found a good bit of iron to turn into an iron outpost. Now, this is going to take a little while to get there, but there soon enough.
And just right around this bend area.
Okay, here we go. So, yeah, it looks like we got a lot of trees and a little bit of maintenance work to do, but here we are, and I will take a look at the map here. Yeah, so it looks like we have 1.8 million iron in this little patch that we'll be able to access. Good bit of coal and stone that we don't really need, but that's fine. Now, good. You have a RoboPort. I have some storage boxes. You have robots?
I do. I have about 100. I had 100, actually. I think I used them on accident. All right. Well, I got 50 for now. I may have to go back and get more.
You know, they'll just... Yeah, they'll work on it little by little. Luckily, we have enough storage. So this is a nice thing about robots. They'll do all this for you.
All right, we might as well clean up this track too.
Yeah, the old track. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of the old power poles as well.
Now, do we want to move the track though, because it's over top this iron? I mean,
yeah, that's probably a good idea. So one thing when you're building outposts is you should really think about what kind of space you're going to need for your station. And we're probably going to need a bit more than normal space because we have 3 types of material here that we're picking up. And in general, I like to do pickups separately per material. Just makes things easier than sorting closer to the main base. So I'm going to, let's see, put a RoboPort up here as well to extend the RoboPort range. Cancel destruction of that pole. That way we have a little more space to manipulate the trees and the tracks and all this stuff.
Okay, I'm going to get in the train and get more robots, so make sure you're not on the track.
Yeah, you should be able to just tell it to go to automatic mode back or whatever we call that station. You won't have to drive yourself. Clear out some more of these trees, and I'll start planning out what this outpost station will look like.
I guess that works. So again, get off the tracks if you're on them.
Yep, I am cleaning up some old track that we don't need. There we go. Good. So while you're there, get some rail. Because I don't have much rail on me.
Okay, there should be some in the train.
Oh, that's true when you come back. And I guess we have some of this old track that's being dismantled. I'll be able to pick that up. Okay, grab some signals. That'll do for now. I can at least start laying out the area. So I think what I want the main line to do is just kind of avoid this whole patch. That way, if some train needs to go off into the distance, it doesn't need to wait behind what's going on here. I'm going to do that by just taking this. Now, the Ghost Planner for Rails is really nice. I believe we talked about that a couple episodes ago. But it does not go around stuff that is marked for destruction but hasn't actually been destructed yet, which is a little annoying. And there we go. All right, so this will be our main line. We'll just take the main line up and out of the way. Okay, let's do the other track. Okay, 1, 2, there we go. Make it the spacing right.
Okay, and you also said you needed track. All right, I'll get some of that.
Yeah, we need a decent amount of track. I believe the signals in the train should be sufficient, but we will need some more track.
All right, I'll get a bunch.
And man, isn't this better to just have the robots do this while we're working on higher level operations.
Fortunately, we have a shortage of robots because of the green circuits that we were trying to fix. It's still working its way along. Is there a possibility I can steal robots? There we go. Steal robots from our main area. And
Yeah, just grab them from...
all right, I'm on my way back.
You used to be able to snatch them out of the air. I think they fixed that. You'd be
I don't
inadvertently trying to deconstruct something and you'd grab them.
I don't want to take all the robots from the area. I still want them to be able to do things. I gave them some tasks while I was on the way through.
Yeah, it's always good to tell them stuff to do. Otherwise, they're just sitting there in your roboports taking up electricity, not doing anything. All right, so I got to think a little bit how I want this station to work. We're a little bit space constrained here. I might have to make the main line go actually even a little bit higher.
I have a habit of getting out of the cars while they're still moving.
It can be dangerous.
There we go. I'm going to put most of the track I got in the train.
Yeah, that's generally a good idea. That way, Farl is moving along and it has access to it, and we can just borrow from Farl. Okay, I'm going to dismantle a bit of this track because it goes right through the middle of the ore patch, as we discussed.
All right, I am on the way, so make sure you're off the track.
This is the one time Mouse doesn't want to kill me when I'm, getting stuff done. All the other times, doesn't care.
Okay, I should probably back the train off because you're fixing this area.
Yep, I'm gonna have the ghost tracks you'll see up here. That's where I'm planning to have kind of the main line run if you're bypassing the station.
So the train
Now,
tracks, the train tracks will be in the train, so just take what you need from there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mostly the robots will need them, but that's fine. Oops, dismantled power. Didn't want to do that.
okay, now we have a little bit more helping hands.
Oh yeah, look at that. Clearing this forest faster than we ever could. This, I think, will be our station in here.
I should put a few more
Just
storage
good amount of
chests
space.
out, just in case need them. I don't know if we will, but okay, so you're doing a loop for the station. Gotcha.
Yep, and then so I'm just going to give it access to both ways on its way out. Whoops, I just keep doing this in the wrong place. There we go. And then I believe I have a station in my pocket. No, I must have put it in the train. Let's grab a station. There we go. And we just do that. Will be our, let's name this. Sorry, Roberta Peddle. Thank you for supporting Factorio, but this is now, what is this? I don't know. Iron Outpost 1. And because iron is blue, we're going to make it blue. Ta-da! Next stop, signaling. So you always have to signal carefully. And, even though our main base is off to the east, I generally like to make sure trains can access any kind of siding from both directions, because you never really know, when you're going to be going from one way to another and you want to access. I'm just going to add this as well. They're probably complaining they don't have track, right? Yeah, okay. give them a bunch of track, and they'll do the rest of this for us. Now here I just spoke about accessing the siding from another direction. And the reason I had to move this are we run these long trains. And so if you hover, I think we talked about this before, if you hover over the train stop, you get the little projected windows. Actually, even a better way to do this would just be tell Farl to go to, oops, that's the wrong place. Go to Iron Outpost 1. That way, you got to be a little careful when you're making your outpost that you leave enough space. If you leave the rear cargo wagon on some kind of corner, the inserters start acting a little wonky when you load them. So it's better to have them on a straight part like this. Now I will go ahead and add the signaling required. If I had signals, let's go pick up more signals. Okay, I need some chain signals as well. Chain signal goes here and here, well as there and there. Good. Now I need to signal the exit. Regular signals on the exit here and here. Good. Now we're all signaled. We have our station. The train should run. How are we doing on the actual mining?
I have a good deal of it set up. Fortunately, I ran out of mining drills, so I'm not going to be able to cover it all.
I believe I have 13, which probably won't cover it all either, but it'll be a good start. I picked up a Roboport. What happened to it? Oh, I didn't pick it up. I have a full inventory. That's what happened. Actually, let's put the rail back in Farl. I don't need this much rail anymore. Chain signals, train stops, don't need those. I have 50 robots. I don't know how I got 50 robots, but I don't need those. All right. Actually, I need to move Roboport out of the way. Oops. How are you gonna power these electric drills?
Oh, I didn't space them. Okay.
Kind of a mistake. I mean, I think I did that in one of our previous posts. Yeah, so you can either space them, obviously, like in line, you can space them apart, or you can leave a space between the backs of two. Like in here, you could leave a space.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really matter to me, one way or another.
All right, I'll resituate it.
I have a bunch more of these. I'll just put them down. You can move them as you see fit. So you dump all of this, and I will get started building the actual loading section. Oh, I don't have any medium electric poles. And I can make 2.
I've got some in my pocket. You want me to just give them to you?
Yeah,
There you go.
great, thank you. All right, we're almost ready to build the loader. See how fancy I want to get with this. Question is, do my blueprints have anything that will work? 6 to 4, 4 to 4, 1 to 5. Nope. I don't have the proper balancer in my blueprint book. Oh, I'm out of transport belt? Can't believe it.
Well, I'm not giving you any of that. You have to get that yourself.
I'll take the train back. Depot, yep, go.
Oh,
And while I'm there, I will build us our first single-headed iron train. Man, trains are slow. My single player, I've been fueling my trains with solid fuel, which has an acceleration boost. The trains are much faster. Okay, what was I coming down here for? Electric poles?
I'm not sure. And you took all my electric poles, so now I can't finish down here.
No, it wasn't electric poles. It was transport belt. That's what it was.
Hmm. Well, get some electric poles while you're up there.
Certainly will. Let's see. On the plus side, the robots have finished building our green circuit extension. On the minus side, they have used all the copper doing that. So next thing we'll have to do is set up a copper outpost.
Oh, I ran out of transport belt too. I've got fast ones though.
All right, I'll bring a whole bunch of transport belt. Okay, 700, because that's all I can fit in my inventory. Anything else while I'm here? Well, I have a full inventory, so you can't get anything else.
Oh, we almost have the station done. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll be...
You've got the fancy stack inserters down here. You're gonna have to explain to me how these...
Yep, I will be there momentarily, but the gist of it is, I think we talked a little bit about it previously, but we can go over it again. Basically, when an inserter is moving something from a container of some kind into another container, and that could be a box into an assembly machine or an assembly machine into a train, anything that's basically not a transport belt, it gets its stack inserter size bonus or inserter carrying capacity bonus. I think they now renamed it, which basically means it can do more than one thing at a time. And that applies to all inserters. A normal inserter can move one thing at a time. And if you get the bonus, if you research the bonus, it can do two things at a time. Now, I think the most a single regular old inserter or a fast inserter can do is maybe two or three at a time. So you can imagine that's, I mean, helpful, but not great. If you build these stack inserters, these special green ones, they can do, I don't even know, up to 10 or more items in one swing, which is supremely useful. And again, I think we talked a little bit about this before, but my philosophy with train outposts is in general, load the train and get it to base as soon as possible. So that means, you know, the more you can do in one swing, the sooner the train's going to fill up, and then the sooner the train's going to leave. That's why you get stack inserters, and that's also why these boxes are here, because when the train is not here, you load the transport belt into the box, and then you're able to use the full stack inserter bonus to move from the box, one container, into the cargo wagon, another container. So that's why that looks like that. And this is your pretty general kind of layout for loading these types of things.
All right, well, I think this is going to wrap up this episode as we are reaching our time limit.
That's right. So we'll finish this up probably. Little outpost here. Thank you all very much for watching. My name's been Rotype, he's been Mouse Gunner, and we'll